Hello, fellow virtual pilots. It's Jason here, coming to you live from my underground coronavirus bunker, stocked with food, ammunition, and lots of iced tea. And I'm streaming Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, Disney Plus, and Pornhub 24 hours a day, just because there's nothing else to do. But not really. I'm just here at my home office in Vegas, which is now just another ghost town because all the tourists have left and nobody's coming. It's really sad. But halfway around the world, my teammates at the 1C Game Studio offices in Moscow are moving their equipment to their homes and flats so they can continue working on Sturmovik beginning on Monday. That means we don't have the usual developer diary for you today. Instead, I've made a video that demonstrates our improved damage model. Now, to some of you, this really won't look much different than what we have now. But trust me, under the hood, there's a lot of improvements. And the end result is that you'll have much more believable and realistic shoot downs and when you get shot down yourself. But before we get too far into the video, let me just say that the work you're going to see is just part one of a multi-part process. First, we're going to finish working on the airframe damage modeling, which you'll see in this video. Then we're going to work on the engine damage modeling in the near future. Then at some later date, we're going to work on damage to systems and introduce things like hydraulic failures, etc. And finally, if we have time and resources available, we'll work on making some modest improvements to the damage textures where needed. But there are limits to what we can do in that area without a huge change to the engine, which we cannot do at the moment. And that would also likely require a new engine or new architecture to support more advanced visual damage modeling. However, any improved damage texture work we do in the near future is likely to be done by a third party as a special project supervised by me. Now, some of this is in our current schedule, and some of it is not. So I cannot venture a guess as to when it will all be completed. But what I can say is that the damage model improvements you'll see in this video will come soon, very soon, possibly next week and definitely by the end of this month. We really didn't plan to do this work now, but like many things the team works on, once they dig into something, they discover issues that need to be fixed, and sometimes that ends up sending us into a different direction than planned. For instance, this work has gotten in the way of our plans for drop tanks and delayed that feature, and it's also delayed a more detailed fuel system. But since complaints about our flimsy folding wings have continued for a long time, we decided to deal with it now. So, as you can see from the action that's been running on your screen, the combat itself looks about the same. But as you're watching me chase these 109s around with my trusty lag, and I'm scoring some hits, you'll notice the wings aren't collapsing after just a few rounds connect. That's a good improvement. We think you'll agree. So let's watch a couple more minutes of combat footage, and I'll give you a running commentary on what I see. Alright, so here we are with the mighty IL-2 getting raked over the coals by a 109. He really takes a pounding, but you'll notice that his wings don't fold up and he keeps on flying. And as the camera pans around, you see the damage to the fuselage, the wings, and the tail section is pretty extreme. Now, under our old system, the wings on that bird would have folded like a cheap suitcase and crashed to the ground. This time, stays flying. I come around for another pass, and I do a little dipsy-do underneath the IL-2's wing on my pass. I thought that was pretty neat. Looks cool. But notice the plane is still flying. He's trying to survive. If the engine doesn't die, he might make it. Okay, here I am in the Yak-1 fighting a 190. Our 190 used to have notoriously weak wing structure, and we've corrected that. So now you can hit a 190 and it actually behaves like you think it would. The butcher bird would have in real life. He loses a little bit of a tail there, and he's going down. But again, the wings don't fold, doesn't look arcade. Looks much more like the gun camera you see in historical footage. Okay, here I am attacking some Ju-88s. These bigger planes now, they can take some more punishment. They don't fall apart quite as easy. Again, all of our calculations for damage are a lot more accurate. Petrovich has really done a good job in going through with a fine-tooth comb along with our engineering department and adjusting everything just about right. As you can see, I'm taking fire, but I blasted the hell out of that Ju-88 and he catches fire and he's slowly going down. Now, of course, you're going to ask about the P-47. Well, here you go. I'm actually sawing off a wing of a 109 here. You can still de-wing an airplane, but you got to be in the right spot with quite a few rounds to get it done right. And he hits the ground and explodes. Here I'm in a vertical fight with the 109, and I really like this one because I was really struggling to catch him at the top of his little hammerhead or loop here. I get him going. He's starting to trail some coolant, it looks like, or steam. He comes back around. Looks like he's going to escape. But he's heavy. He's got some cannons on the wing, so I'm able to catch up to him at the bottom of the loop here. And then I come back up and I catch him in the vertical. And you'll kind of notice in this footage that my machine guns hit various metal parts of the plane. Therefore, the special effects look slightly different than previous builds. And now I'm in a 109, and I'm going to chase and shoot down a P-47. This is great because I pound him really good. But now see how the wings, they're still straight and level, but when he hits the ground, the wings start to buckle under the pressure of hitting the ground. I think that's really great. That demonstrates how we've changed the model quite a bit. Now here I again attacking a 47. Now the 47 was the jug was very sturdy, and before it just wasn't. But now I try to take him out with my machine guns, and I pepper him really good. These German machine guns, you know, they mean business. But look, I hit him a few times, more than a few times, and he keeps on flying. So now the jug can actually take some damage and keep flying. So that's good. Okay, here I am again in another 109, and I'm chasing another Thunderbolt. As I come around and I reel him in, I will shoot my guns at his tail, including my 30 mil, and I connect with it, and boom, there you go. Notice he loses his rudder. So as he's diving down to the left, he's got a little bit of stability in the yaw, but I pound him in the right wing, and the force of the explosion puts him into a death spin. That's just our physics at work, and I love it. It's awesome. Now I'm back in the P-47, and I'm chasing a 190. I like this footage because he was difficult to bring down. We got in an extended turn fight. I finally peppered him a little bit, but then as I come around, I finally hit his tail, and boom, I blow off his elevator and his vertical stabilizer, and he just goes out of control. It's just a nice little explosive moment that I didn't expect. Now again, I'm chasing a 109 here, and this is a demonstration of how you can eventually de-wing an airplane, and I don't mean the whole wing. In this case, I chase this 109 around the sky. I'm not putting rounds where I want them to go. Even though I have 850 cals, I'm missing them quite a bit. Can't seem to hit the sweet spot. Can't seem to bring him down. Pilot's probably wounded. He's still in the air, but he's not doing very well. I just keep at it. Finally, I get enough rounds on one of the wingtips, and they blow off the right wingtip. And it just takes a long time because we were more accurate in our calculations and our placements of our bullets hitting different parts of the plane. It's not always so easy, and there are those times where it's just hard to bring down an enemy plane even though you're putting rounds on them. So I eventually get them, but it takes quite a while. But once I did get them, I was pretty happy with myself. Let's see here. Here he goes. He's really taking a pounding. And there it goes. Finally. But down he goes. Nonetheless, he's down. Well, that concludes our little sneak peek at our improved damage modeling. I should say, and I forgot to mention it at the beginning, but the engine damage model was turned off for testing purposes. So there are some situations where the engine may have been damaged during these particular encounters. But because it was turned off, I wasn't able to damage the engine. The point of the video is to show you that our airframe damage model is greatly improved. And the overall effect will be much more interesting gameplay, more realistic shoot downs, and you have a greater possibility of nursing a damaged plane back to base because your wings didn't fly off. Also, taking more firepower, if that's an option for the airplane that you're going to fly, may become more important in multiplayer or single player because now you don't need just one little gun to take off somebody's wing. So some thought's going to have to be put into your mission planning on how much firepower you want. So hope you enjoyed the video. I know this is a tough time for everybody in our community. Many of you have been asked by your government to stay indoors, me included. Same with the team in Moscow. So let's make the most of it and have some fun with IL-2 Sturmovik. Take care, everybody. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.